Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I used to think this only applied to humans, until I found out that even the gods can be power drunk. Listen, I have a story for you, and it is, what about the gods? Long ago, in the heart of an ancient kingdom, three powerful gods ruled over the vast land, each commanding their own domains and worshippers. These gods, Obasi, the god of thunder, Amina, the goddess of the earth, and Ekene, the god of the sun, were revered by the people, who built grand temples and offered countless sacrifices to honor them. Obasi, with his stormy temper and roaring thunderbolts, was feared and respected by those who sought his protection from natural disasters. Amina, the gentle yet formidable earth mother, was the source of fertility and abundance, her touch blessing the land with rich harvests. Ekene, radiant and fierce, brought light and warmth to the world, his power essential for life to thrive. For centuries, the gods coexisted in delicate balance, each one governing their own sphere of influence. The people lived in relative harmony, offering prayers and tributes to keep the gods appeased. But as time passed, the gods grew restless. Each desired more power, more worshippers, and more control over the world they had helped to create. The tension between the gods grew beneath the surface, unnoticed by the mortals who continued their daily lives. Obasi, ever prideful and competitive, began to covet the lands of Amina. He believed that with control over the earth, he could command the storms to ravage or bless as he pleased, solidifying his dominance. Amina, wise and nurturing, sensed Obasi's growing ambition and sought to protect her domain. She strengthened the earth, causing the mountains to rise higher and the forests to grow denser, making it harder for Obasi's storms to wreak havoc. She did not wish for conflict, but she would not allow her lands to be taken. Ekene, observing the brewing conflict, saw an opportunity to expand his influence. He knew that without the sun, the earth would wither, and without light, even the mightiest storm would be powerless. He began to assert his dominance by intensifying the sun's rays, causing droughts in Amina's land and weakening her power. The gods, once allies, now viewed each other with suspicion and envy. Their rivalry soon boiled over into outright war. The skies darkened as Obasi unleashed his wrath, sending torrents of rain and deafening thunders across the lands. Amina responded by solidifying the earth, causing great mountains to rise and shield her domain from the fury of the storms. Ekene retaliated by scorching the earth with unrelenting heat, drying up rivers and turning fertile lands into deserts. The mortals, caught in the middle of this divine conflict, suffered greatly. Crops failed, rivers dried up, and homes were destroyed by floods and earthquakes. The once peaceful villages descended into chaos as people began to blame each other for the gods' wrath. Clans that once coexisted peacefully became bitter enemies, each claiming that their god was the rightful ruler. As the conflict raged on, the gods' thirst for power blinded them to the suffering of their worshippers. Obasi, Amina, and Ekene became so consumed by their desire for supremacy that they failed to notice the devastation they were causing. The lands were ravaged, and the people, once united in their faith, were now divided and at war with each other. The battle between the gods reached its peak when they decided to face each other directly. On a fateful day, they convened at the highest mountain where the earth met the sky and the sun shone brightest. The clash was catastrophic. Lightning split the sky, the earth quaked, and the sun blazed with a heat that threatened to consume everything. But as the gods fought, their power began to wane. The more they unleashed their divine fury, the more they drained their own strength. The natural order of the world was thrown into chaos. Rivers reversed their flow. Animals fled in terror, and the seasons became unpredictable. The mortals, witnessing the devastation, realized that their gods were no longer protectors but destroyers. They saw that their blind devotions and warring among themselves had only fueled the gods' desire for power. In their desperation, they turned away from the gods. and sought to restore balance on their own. The elders of the tribes, wise and knowledgeable in the old ways, gathered together in secret. They knew that the gods drew their strength from the worship and fear of their followers. If the people ceased to worship them, the gods would lose their power. With heavy hearts, the elders spread the word among the people. They urged them to stop the bloodshed, to abandon the temples, and to turn their backs on the gods. The people, exhausted from the endless suffering, agreed. They tore down their altars, ceased their prayers, and made a solemn vow never to let the gods defy them again. As the people withdrew their worship, the gods felt their power slipping away. The mighty Obasi, once the Lord of Storms, found his thunder reduced to a mere whisper. Amina, the earth mother, felt the ground beneath her feet grow cold. Ekene, the sun god, watched in despair as his light dimmed and the warmth faded from the world. Realizing their mistake too late, the gods retreated from the world, their pride shattered, and their power diminished. They returned to the divine realm, where they could no longer interfere in the affairs of mortals. The world, once shaped by their hands, was left in the care of the people who had once worshipped them. In the absence of the gods, the people began to rebuild. They planted new crops, restored their homes, and healed the wounds of the land. The clans that had fought bitterly now sought peace, realizing that their true strength lay in unity, not in division. The memory of the gods' wrath and the suffering it caused was passed down through generations as a cautionary tale. The people learned to live in harmony with the natural world, respecting the earth, the sky, and the sun, but never again worshipping them as gods. The elders who had led the people through the darkest times became revered as the new leaders of the land. They guided the people with wisdom and compassion, ensuring that the lessons of the past were never forgotten. And so, a new era dawned, an era where the people were no longer beholden to the whims of the gods, but masters of their own destiny. They forged a future based on unity, respect, and a deep understanding of the natural world. The gods, once feared and revered, became distant memories, their names spoken only in stories around fires at night. But the people never forgot the price of their freedom. Their ancestors had paid dearly for their devotion to the gods, and so they vowed to honor the earth, the sky, and the sun, not as gods, but as the sacred elements of life that they must protect and cherish. And in the quiet corners of the land, where the remnants of the old temples lay in ruins, a soft breeze would sometimes whisper the names of Obasi, Amina, and Ekene, a reminder of a time when gods walked the earth, and the people learned the true meaning of power and responsibility. Thank you for watching this interesting story. Please subscribe if you have not done so. My name is Thank God, and this is SY Times.